Okay, welcome back to the third session of political science class today. Okay, so please open your textbook, everyone. Sharing the screen. Okay, so we're discussing how the constitution is framed, who are the people behind that, and what was the procedures. Okay, that followed by the constituent assembly, and have a look at the textbook here. So we are here at page number 18, I think, right? Okay, no, page number 17. Page number 17, we discussed here. So almost all the provisions in the Constitution, okay, that wrote or adopted after a discussion and deliberations and negotiations, except one provision, that is, that the universal adult franchise. Universal adult franchise. Okay, so universal adult franchise means we know that it's a right to vote, a right to vote. Okay, the introduction of universal suffrage, meaning that all citizens reaching the certain age, in India it is 18 age, would be entitled to be voters irrespective of the religion, caste, education, gender, or income, income. That is basically termed as right to vote. Okay, right to vote, universal adult suffrage, universal adult suffrage. Okay, next one, the constitution drew its authority from the fact that members of the constituent assembly engaged in what one might call public reason. Public reason. Okay, so the members of the constituent assembly engaged, okay, in one, what might we call it, is a public reason. Public reason. They are not standing for their own purpose, or they are not discussing for their own society or their own group, but for the entire society. The members of the assembly placed a great emphasis on discussion and reasoned argument. Okay, so the members of the constituent assembly, they give importance for discussions and reasoned arguments, not just argument, but the argument with reason and sense, rational arguments, not just arguing for the sake of argument, but arguing with reason. Okay, with proofs. That's what arguing with a reason. So almost all these members of the constituent assembly, they give importance for discussions on the basis of reason. Okay, clear. They did not simply advance their own interest. Okay, so the members of the constituent assembly, not for simply discussing their own interest, but gave principled reasons to other members of their positions. Okay, they are not just arguing, but arguing with reason and the accurate what do you can say, uh, backup. Okay, accurate reasons for their arguments. Okay, the very act of giving reasons to other makes you move away from simply a narrow consideration of your own interest, because you have to give a reason to others to make them go along with your viewpoint. Okay, so if simply we are arguing for a particular rule or a provision, others may not understand that, they may not go with that same reason or the same provision in the constitution. So the persons, those who are coming forward with different arguments, they have to show how important that reason is, or how important that provision is. Okay, so not simply giving an argument or creating an argument, okay, but wanted to make an argument related with its importance and its a reason. Okay, the voluminous debate in the Constituent Assembly, where each clause of the Constitution was subjected to scrutiny and debate. So whatever, so number of provisions are there in the Constitution. Okay, that all provisions came or they adopted after long discussions and debates. Okay, so after each and every decision, they will scrutinize that. They will observe it clearly, its importance, its drawbacks, negative and positive effect in the society. Everything will observe properly. Again, they will go for a debate. Finally, they will accept it. Okay, it's a tribute to the public reason at its best. So we can say that scrutinizing and debates are the best example for giving importance for the public reason. So rules and regulations is not for satisfying the demand for one group of people, sorry, but for the entire society. Okay, these debates deserved a memorialized as one of the most significant chapters in the history of constitution making, equal in importance to the French and the American Revolution. So Indian Constitution, okay, creation of the Indian Constitution is sometimes we can say that it's almost like the French Revolution and the American Revolution to create a new government and the constitution for their own country, their own countries. Okay, that kind of activities are there or were there behind the formation of the Indian Constitution. That many people participated. Okay, that many ideas, that many debates, that many negotiations. Okay, finally they adopted a number of rules and regulations for the benefit of the entire society. As we know, not only one group of people, but different people from or representatives from different groups of people participated in the making of Indian Constitution. So it is standing for the public reason, not for the attitude of a single individual or a society, but for the entire country and the society. Okay, now we can see here a picture. The President of the Constituent Assembly, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, and the Chairman of the Drafting Committee, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, greeting each other. So it's a famous picture. Okay. So here Rajendra Prasad, he wrote, I have realized as nobody else could have, with that zeal and devotion, the members of the drafting committee and especially its chairman, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, in spite of his indifferent health, have worked. We could never make a decision which was or could be ever so right as when we put him on the drafting committee and made him its chairman. So the Rajendra Prasad commenting that Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, along with his group members, they made a fantastic work. Okay, so Ambedkar is facing a number of health issues. Then also they completed the drafting of the Indian Constitution. That was a fantastic report, it seems. He has not only justified his selection, but has added luster to the work which has done. In this connection, it would be invidious to make any distinction as among the other members of the committee. I know they have all worked with the same zeal and zeal and devotion as its chairman, and they deserve the thanks of the country. So Rajendra Prasad just write a note to thank Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and his Constituent Assembly and the people, those who worked, okay, for the creation of the Indian Constitution. Okay, so you are able to find a number of words here that is too important. So these politicians, they are politicians, the framers of the Indian Constitutions, the words that they used in the Constitution, and these small notes also too important for we people. Okay, and want to find out, there's a homework for you people. Want to find out Dr. Rajendra Prasad, where from we got this information. Here you can see a letter here, CAD. Okay, volume 11. Okay, page number 994. Okay, date also is here. Okay, so find out what is this. Okay, and here also you are able to find the same. Another picture is here. Sorry. Okay, here it is. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Okay, that also CAD, volume 11, P 979, 25th November 1949. So authenticity. So all these documents are with the date. Okay, date, and you can see this is Lok Sabha Constituent Facts. That's a site. We opened this site. A number of facts we are able to learn related with the procedure of the Constitution. Okay, how the Constitution is made. Such kind of informations are there in this site also. Just observe that clearly. Clear? Okay. Now we are moving to the procedures of the Indian Constitution. Indian Constitution, the procedures, how they made it. Okay. The importance of the public reason was emphasized in the maintained procedures of the assembly. Okay, maintained procedure in the sense the procedure in the earth right basically. Okay, it is related with the life of the common people of the assembly as well. The Constituent Assembly had 8 major committees. Underline that. There are 8 major committees are there in the Constitution Assembly, sorry, Constituent Assembly. Okay, usually Jawaharlal Nehru, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Sardar Patel, or Dr. B.R. Ambedkar chaired these committees. So leaders of these different committees basically Jawaharlal Nehru, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Sardar Patel, okay, Vallabhbhai Patel, okay, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar chaired all these committees, 8 different committees. These were not men who agreed with each other or many things. Okay, so now we are discussing about the people. Basically, they are chaired these committees. Okay, who are they? Jawaharlal Nehru, Rajendra Prasad, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Don't think that all these 4 people have the same idea with them. Okay, all right, not the same idea. All right, their ideas are different. Okay, they are not going to listen blindly or are not going to adopt anything blindly that is suggested by the other. They have their own ideas, conflicting ideas, we can say conflicting ideas. What do you mean by the term conflicting ideas? In politics it is too important, conflicting ideas. What do you mean by the term conflicting ideas?
One person may not agree to the ideas of the other person.
Definitely. Okay, so one person cannot agree with the ideas of other, or these 2 people have 2 different idea. These ideas are conflicting. One is against the other, like that. Okay, so I should it is correct. Okay, so that's called to be the conflicting ideas. Conflicting ideas will be there. So these people, their ideas are different. Ideas are different. Don't think that all these people are believe anything blindly or suggestion from other will swallow without water. No, not something like that. They will think the thing clearly. They will think about the reason behind that. Okay, these were not men who agreed with each other or many things on many things. Ambedkar had been a bitter critic of the Congress and Mahatma Gandhi. So Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Okay, don't think that all the people, those who participated in the national movement or creation of the constitution, they are the Congress party people or the people those who believing in the International Congress. Number of different people are there with the different ideas. Okay, for different communities. So Ambedkar, even though he was a believer of the Congress party earlier, later he turned into a person those who criticizing the Congress party and Mahatma Gandhi and his ideology. Okay, Ambedkar, B.R. Ambedkar, he's a critic of the Congress party and Mahatma Gandhi So we know that Mahatma Gandhi is our father of our, he's the father of our nation. But don't think that each and every individual in the country is accepting Mahatma Gandhi as the father of our nation. Are you agreeing with me or opposing? Is that my, this is my question. Okay. Are you thinking that all the people in the country is believing that Mahatma Gandhi or understanding or accepting that Gandhi is the father of our country? What is your answer? No. Right. So, okay. So you might don't have the courage to say that the no there. Right. Let it. But the answer is no only because we know that there are different types of people are there in the country. Right or not? Some people might accept the same time. Some people may not. Clear. So you might heard about the person who killed Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, Nathuram Godse. Nathuram Godse. Right? Yes or no? Nathuram Godse. Clear. There is a temple being constructed for Nathuram Godse. Okay. The plan is there to construct a temple for him. Right. So we can say that it's a vast country with a different political ideologies. Clear or not? Our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the same time he is paying homage to Nathuram Godse and Mahatma Gandhi, it seems. Political gimmicks. That also we are able to see. Clear or not? Okay, one side he is paying homage to Nathuram Godse, the next moment he pay homages to Mahatma Gandhi also. That also we are able to see. So politics, okay, practical politics is perfectly different than the theoretical one what we are learning. Okay, so listen, I am not against Mahatma Gandhi, I am not against Congress Party, I am not against Narendra Modi or anyone. All right, so we are discussing the things in general. All right. Okay, we are scrutinizing the things, understanding the things. Okay, you are students of political science, so we are social scientists. We are observing the things and coming to the final conclusion there. So we are not going to give any predictions. Okay, no predictions. Okay, we are not biased or we are not prejudiced. For us, all the parties are equal, all are same, right or not? All the political party leaders also the same only, right or not? If they are doing something wrong, we are able to criticize them. Okay, the same time, if they are doing something good for the country, we will appreciate too, right? So we are standing for the society, not for any political party. We are standing for the upliftment of the entire society, the humanity. Clear? Not for any particular political party. We are not the followers of anyone. Okay, if you are following anyone, okay, up to your wish. That's up to your wish, right or not? Clear or not? So I am not against any of such kind of things. So if I am using any particular comments in the classroom, don't take that into that sense. Clear? You want to understand? We are learning that. We are scrutinizing. We are understanding the things there. Okay. So listen. So Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, he was or he's he was against Congress party at that time, and he's a critic of Gandhiji, Mahatma Gandhi. Okay. So the Gandhian idea is basically termed as Gandhism, right? Gandhism. But Ambedkar is against that principle, against that idea. Okay, accusing them of not doing enough for the upliftment of the scheduled caste there. So B.R. Ambedkar is basically criticizing the government. I mean, the Congress Party and Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, why? Why? The reason is accusing them of not doing enough for the upliftment of scheduled caste. Clear or not? They not did anything. I mean, the Congress Party and Gandhiji not did anything for the upliftment of the scheduled caste, it seems. Okay, that's why Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, he turned against or he turned as a critic of the Congress Party and Mahatma Gandhi at that time. Okay, Patel, okay, Sardar Vallabhai Patel. Okay, so Patel and Nehru disagreed of many issues. Nevertheless, they all work together. So Jawaharlal Nehru and Patel, okay, they also disagreed with a number of provisions, but they worked together for completing the constitution. Each committee usually drafted particular provisions of the constitution, which were then subjected to debate by the entire assembly. So I already told you there are 8 committees are there under the leadership of these leaders. Okay, they will create provisions for the constitution separately. All these 8 committees with will sit separately and will create provisions. So finally, that provision will discuss in the general assembly or the entire assembly. Everyone will listen that. Everyone will have a debate on that. Finally, only they will accept it. Usually, an attempt was made to reach a consciousness with the belief that provisions agreed to by all would not be detrimental to any particular interest. Some provisions were subject to the vote. Okay, so it is not mandatory to obey or accept all these provisions that made by these different constitution committees. Okay, sometimes the provisions will subject to vote. Subject to vote, the members can vote and select that. Okay, related with the majority, they can choose the provisions. But in each instance, every single argument, query or concern was responded to with great care, and in writing, the assembly met for 166 days, spread over 2 years and 11 months. Its sessions were open to the press and the public alike. Okay, so how many days? Assembly met for 166 days. And it is spread over 2 years and 11 months. 2 years and 11 months. Its sessions were open to the press, to the media, and to the public. Anyone can ask questions. Anyone can participate in the debate of the rules and regulation making, or the making of the provisions in the constitution. Okay, so such kind of rights are provided to everyone. So we know, studied already in the constitution, sorry, in a democratic type of government, the government wanted to create a condition or situation for the people to participate in the debates or decision making. Okay, anytime the people have the right, or they can ask questions to the government. So government is called to be a transparent government. Transparent government, right? Clear or not? A transparency will be the transparency. So government can, sorry, people can ask questions, and they can participate in the decision making of the government. Okay, legislation, basically termed as a legislation. So in the constitution making also, people and press participated. Okay, and they played their role also. Okay, next one, inheritance of the nationalist movement. Okay, we studied in different classes, different related with the Indian national movement. Okay, how it was and how many people participated in that. Who are the major leaders of such events? I mean, such movements. Okay, Gandhian era, the period of Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, okay, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and Subhash Chandra Bose, like that, various leaders and their contribution to the national movement. Different organizations, different societies, they participated in the national movement, like the tribal people, the scheduled caste, women. Okay, so the middle class people, the industrialists, like that, various people participated in the national movement. So it is important to give due respect for each and every community and add something in the constitution for the well-being of such particular, or that particular societies. Okay, so here, inheritance of the nationalist movement. But no constitution is simply a product of the assembly that produces it. Okay, so we can say that a constitution is not just a product that produced by the government, or the assembly. An assembly as diverse as the Constituent Assembly of India could not have functioned if there was no background consciousness on the main principle of constitution should enshrine. These principles were forged during the long struggle of freedom. Don't think that constitution is not just a document. It is not a document just to have some rules and regulations that able to create a good life in the society for the future. But in the constitution, we are able to find a number of things are included. It is gained through a long struggle in the past. So I already told you that if we are observing the the African constitution, the South African constitution, we are able to find a number of rulings or number of regulations are there to protect the rights of the black people, or protecting them from the problem of the racial discrimination, apartheid. Okay, the racial discrimination. Clear or not? So in Indian constitution also, we are able to find such kind of provisions that giving importance for what do you can say, equality in the society, or problems between the different religions in the society. So stop the problems between the different social groups or religions in the society. Okay, in a way, the Constituent Assembly was giving concrete shape and form the principles it had inherited from the nationalist movement for decades preceding a promulgation of the Constitution. The nationalist movement had debated many questions that were relevant to the making of the Constitution. The shape and form of the government India should have, the values it should uphold, the inequalities it should overcome. Answers forged in those debates were given their final form of the constitution. So in the period of national movement, the national party leaders, okay, they met number of people in the country, number of different societies in the country. Okay, so we know that at the time of the Khilafat movement, Shaukat Ali and Muhammad Ali, along with Mahatma Gandhi, they toured extensively in the country called India, and grabbed the attention of the people and got number of information, or collected number of informations from the people regarding the problem what they are facing in the society. So such kind of informations that are collected by the national party leaders, okay, that also passed to the Constituent Assembly, and they added such provisions in the Constitution to protect the will of the people, right? Are you able to understand? Are you following? Here, Perhaps the best summary of the principles that the nationalist movement brought to the Constituent Assembly is the objectives resolution. Okay, the resolution that defined the aims of the assembly. So objective resolution in the sense nothing but the resolution or a type of rule or regulation that define the aims of the assembly, aims, their goals or aims. Okay, clear or not? The assembly want to show, the assembly want to pass that message to everyone, their aim, moved by Nehru in 1946. So this objectives resolution that moved by Jawaharlal Nehru in the year 1946. This resolution encapsulated the aspirations and values behind the constitution. Okay, though this is the essence of the constitution, we can say like that. What is the previous section terms as a substantive provisions of the constitution is inspired by and summed up by the values incorporated in the objective resolution. So we are able to find a number of things in the constitution basically related with the aims of the assembly, the goals of the assembly. Okay, based on this resolution, our constitution gave institutional expression on these fundamental commitments. Okay, so related with these objective resolutions, some commitments are there by the constitution or assembly to the people. What are they? So they have to guarantee some special rights to the people related with the aims that are basically considering as the aims of the constitution. What are they? Equality, liberty, democracy, sovereignty, and cosmopolitan identity. Clear or not? Cosmopolitan identity means we are living in different countries, different states there. So the government want to accept us as a citizen of our country, right or not? Right or not? Okay, or wherever you live, if you are born in India, you have the Indian citizenship. Okay, thus our constitution is not merely maze of rules and procedures. Okay, not just a maze of rules and procedures. Maze means the game, you know that, right? Okay, it's not like that, just rules and procedures, but a moral commitment to establish a government that with fulfill the many promises that the nationalist movement held before the people. So this objective resolution that moved by Jawaharlal Nehru that adopted number of policies and programs. Okay, included, so not adopted, included number of policies and programs basically that related with the aim of the assembly, At the time of the national movement, the national leaders or the national parties, they guaranteed a number of rights to the people, number of offers to the people they provided. Okay, so it's the responsibility of the government after independence to guarantee or provide such things to the people. What are those things? Basically, it is equality, liberty, democracy, sovereignty, and citizenship. So these things should be guaranteed. Okay, this should be provided to the people. People are expecting that. So it is the responsibility of the government to provide such kind of things. So Nehru added this principle or this resolution is basically termed as the objectives resolution. So learn it. Let us short out on the objective resolution by Jawaharlal Nehru. Okay, so the Constituent Assembly accepted that and they made a provision in the Constitution to provide these rights or these values to the people. Okay, and as per that, the government is functioning. Okay, what are they? Equality, liberty, democracy, sovereignty, and the citizenship. Okay, so these are the things, the main points of the objective resolutions. Reading that, India is an independent sovereign republic country. Okay, independent country. Okay, not under the control of anyone. Sovereign government, all powerful government within the country, not subjugated or not under the power of any foreign government. Okay, it is republic. A constitution is there and it is under the protection of the president of the country. Okay, clear. India shall be the union of erstwhile British Indian territories, Indian states and other parts outside British India, and Indian states as are willing to be a part of the union. So as per that resolution, we can say that India shall be a union. Okay, union of the British Indian territories, Indian states, and other parts outside British India and Indian states are willing to be a part of the union. So it's a group of the old English India or British India, and the people, those who are interested to join in the Indian Union, they can join. They are outside the British India, outside the British India, they are also able to join in the Indian Union. So it's a combination of the central government, Indian states, princely states, and those who are willing to join in the Indian Union, they can join also. Territories forming the union shall be autonomous units and exercise all powers and functions of the government and administration except those assigned to or vested in the union. Okay, so territories forming the union, I mean the union government, shall be autonomous units. Autonomous, they have their own self powers are there and exercise all powers and functions of the government and administration except those assigned for the or to vested in the union. Okay, so some powers are there with the central government, okay, that will exercise by the central government only. At the same time, the new states or union territories can function as a different government, all powers are there with them all too. Okay, next one, all powers and authority of sovereign and independent India and its constitution shall flow from the people. Okay, so all powers and authority of the sovereign and independent India and its constitution is with the people, so people is all powerful. Okay, next one, all people of India shall be guaranteed and secured social, economic and political justice. Another one, all people of India shall be guaranteed and secured social, economic and political justice, equality of status and of opportunity and equality before law and fundamental freedom of speech, expression, belief, faith, worship, vocation, I mean the job, association and action subject to law, public morality. Okay, so people can participate any of these activity. What are they? Okay, they can speak, they can express, they can believe, they can show their faith on, they can worship, they can do any job, they can they have the right to create groups, I mean associations and actions subject to law and public morality. So all these things we can do, but under the law or within the framework of the constitution, within the framework of the Indian constitution, nothing more than that. Okay, and it should be under a moral value. Morality should keep there. So freedoms are there, we want to accept it, and you want to obey the constitution too. Okay, related with the worship of faith, vocation, association and everything. Okay, so everything is connected with the constitution. The minorities, backward and tribal areas, depressed and other backward classes shall be provided adequate safeguards. Okay, so the minorities in the country, religious minorities, cultural minorities, racial minorities or ethnic minorities, and backward and tribal classes, depressed classes, okay, for them special care will provide by the government. Next one, okay, the territorial the territorial integrity of the republic and its sovereign rights on land, sea, and air shall be maintained according to justice and law of civilized nations. So, Indian government will protect the territory of our the Indian country. Okay, our country, its land territory, air territory, and its oceanic territory. Okay, by accepting and obeying the international rules and regulations. Okay, the land would, so it may use the term here, the law of civilized nations. The land would make full and willing contribution to the promotion of world peace and welfare of mankind. So the country will stand for improving the welfare of the entire world, it seems. Okay, so these are the points that include in the objectives or resolutions by Jawaharlal Nehru, and all these things are mentioned in the constitution, and they safeguard, the constitution safeguard all these provisions. Okay, so one more period is there by 4:20. Okay, so we will continue at that time. Okay, thank you.